Welcome in. This is the Second Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and we are recapping 2 long days around Riviera. Greg DuCharme is here joining me to do just that. Gregory, hello.
Rick, been quite a start to the week so far, especially for you. How's life on the couch in there going?
Oh, just me and the couch. No, it's good. Listen, it's their long days, but no one is going to feel sorry for me. I'm sitting in front of a screen watching golf and getting paid for it. So no one is going to feel bad for me. It is a lot of fun. We get to see every shot of Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, and they throw a bunch of data and research at us, and they treat us like we're, superstars. So yes, I'm having a great time.
They treat you like talent.
That's right.
Talented you are. So very cool. I didn't get to watch today, but got to catch a little yesterday. It was great. You guys do a great job. So keep it up.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, listen, we had a little bit of a break in the action yesterday because there was a 3-hour weather delay. We knew the forecast was not good for Thursday. That storm that was forecasted came through, dumped a bunch of water on Riviera. So before we jump into players, let's talk about the scoring and what you've seen, Greg, because this is a soft version of Riv that we don't often get, right? It's playing a little bit different than what we would normally see.
Yes, and when you have soft weather or soft greens like this, in one way, it's a lot easier because you can access hole locations you otherwise wouldn't be able to access. But one thing that gets very challenging, and it's something Scottie spoke about today in his comments after the round, they get very bumpy, and so over the past couple of seasons, I've noticed that Poana greens have just gotten better. They're a lot smoother. They're still challenging and more challenging than other green surfaces we play, but at the same time, they have been extremely bumpy this week, and I attribute a lot of that to the softness, footprints.
It's funny because we the green, or I'm sorry, the microphone on the 10th green is very, very hot. So we are picking up like every conversation. We've heard Adam Scott describe how over the last 20 years, it used to be 50-50 guys going for it. Now it's 100% guys are going for it. We've heard a lot of things, heard a lot of profanities, but we heard Patrick Rogers miss a putt and attribute it to the lumpy donut. Have you ever heard of the lumpy donut, Greg?
Yes, the lumpy donut is something that came from Dave Pelz, and Dave Pelz is the short game and putting guru who ran this study. I cannot think of the year, but it was quite a while ago. And basically, it's this circle where everybody steps in order to reach down and get their ball out of the hole. Mm-hmm. So, if you think about it, you don't go stand on the edge of the cup to get the ball out of the hole. You stand, a foot or so away. Yeah. And that creates this area that Dave Pelz described as a lumpy donut.
Yeah.
And so that definitely gets exaggerated when you have soft greens like this.
Yeah. So everybody bending down, standing in the same spot, 1 foot from the cup in all directions, kind of. And then when it's wet, it creates a lumpy donut. I've never heard that before. It was explained to us there in the studio by Graham Dillette, and I'm not surprised that you've heard of it because you are a professional and this is your job. But that was new to me. So yes, that the soft Poana greens with all that foot traffic getting some lumpy donuts this week.
Yep. Very interesting. And again, we also had a lot of wind this week, which was not surprising for Thursday. That was in the forecast. Today was probably a little windier than I thought it would be, although it seemed to calm down. But so it's been this crazy mix. You've had cold, you had rain. When it wasn't windy yesterday, it was raining. Then you had a delay, and then it's soft. And so there's been a lot of conflicting difficulty metrics around Riviera so far. But I think we're in really good shape. The forecast looks great the rest of the way.
Does look clean the rest of the way. Let's get to the big storyline of the first 2 days. And of course, that was Scottie Scheffler, who for the third consecutive week really struggled in the opening round. It ended up being a 74, which is 3 over par. But if you're looking at the screen that we have up on YouTube right now, you should take note that they stopped play yesterday while this group was on the 11th green. So Scottie came back out this morning with a putt for birdie on number 11. So at the time, he was 5 over, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 over when he restarted this morning. He did not make that putt. He would go on to salvage 2 birdies the rest of the way in his first round and card that 74. So, Greg, this is now 3 straight Thursdays where Scottie's been very uncharacteristic. This was obviously spread over, this round over 2 days. But what's the sense on why Scottie is struggling? What you're seeing out of him that is causing these struggles?
When he was asked about it today, what's with the slow starts kind of thing, he talked about the difficulty of the conditions yesterday and how when, the greens are bumpy, soft, and fast. So he felt like he had to be very defensive on the greens, which I thought was very interesting. This is the first event Scottie's, the first time he's been at Riviera with the blade putter. This is the last with the mallet. This was the last event he played with a blade in 2024. So I was very curious to see what we would see on out of the putter from him, and it wasn't very good yesterday. I think that was a little defensive. But perhaps more importantly, the golf swing looks out of sorts. He's working underneath it. He's saving shots. He's more off balance than he normally is. In spite of that footwork that you see that draws a lot of attention, when he's swinging well, it is a balanced finish. Even though the footwork is jumping all over the place, his upper body's above his lower body. The club face comes through, and it looks like there's no extra twist in. And when he gets out of sorts, you start to see those very strange finishing positions where his right hand's rolling over the left and he's doing everything he can to save it. And that's reflected in the direction of shots, but also the distance. And we're talking about 0 shots on the back nine today inside of 15 feet.
Yeah, And what I notice, and correct me if you see something different, when he starts missing left, right? I mean, it's usually off the tee that he misses left, where he's expecting to kind of start at left, and it kind of works its way back with that natural fade that he has, and it never works itself back, or it works in the other direction. And then that same kind of thing where when you do that on your approaches, now your distance control is off, because when you shut down the club face, you're now long and left, which is why he's missing distance wise. And it's just this thing that he's been very good at fixing quickly, whether it's in between rounds or in between days or something like that. But to me, when things are off, you see him walking to the left side of fairways into the rough and left sides of greens.
It's a really interesting thought, because it's not just that it's left, but it's how it gets left, which is what I noticed. Because if you look back through his statistics in the left rough and right rough tendency, Scottie he misses left a lot more than he misses right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how. And when you're seeing the ball, like if you're a fader of the golf ball, you start it left and fade it right. Is the ball fading but not enough? So he's used that fade to actually eliminate the right side of the golf course in his career, because the ball's always working towards his target. But sometimes it doesn't get there, when he's playing well, which is why you see that reflected in the stats the way that it is. He's been first in right rough tendency before. He's been top 5 a couple times, top 10 a number of times. Left rough tendency is usually missing around 15% into the left rough, which he is this year as well. But if it's curving left, now you have a totally different ball game. And now you see an occasional big right miss. Like his approach shot on 2 in round 1 was miles right. Today it was miles left. That pattern, I believe, is more important than the side that he misses on. If it's curving to the left, and missing left, it's trouble. If it's missing left because it didn't fade enough, he can usually play with that. But it's a two-way miss so far this week.
Well, he got those 2 birdies at the end of round 1, and he shot a 3 under 68 in round 2. So meaning that after the restart today, he made 2, 4, 6, 7 birdies, offset by 2 bogeys. So that's 5 under in the, what would that, 26 plus holes that he played on this Friday. In what you saw in the second round, the score was better. Was it more encouraging after the restart this morning?
Well, yeah, things settled down for sure. I still don't think it was top-notch Scottie.
No.
It doesn't look like a guy that's itching to go shoot 63. It didn't look like a guy that was giving himself a lot of looks and they just weren't falling yet. It looked like a guy that needs to sort things out. But that's not really surprising, Rick, because remember, he's also talked about this. After round 1 in Phoenix, he had to go spend a lot of time on the range and get things sorted out. He didn't feel like he had to after Pebble, but he could have. Today, he needed to after watching him on day 1. But he didn't have the opportunity to go sort any of these things out. He only had the limited time this morning to go and work on things on the range. So my hope is after his second round was completed, he was able to go, even though it was a long day, go, iron out a couple things in this golf swing and get things back on track. So that part encourages me because, look, there are a few people who can adjust their swing and look different the next day than like Scottie Scheffler can.
74-68, and he needed every single one of them because he rolled in a 7-footer for par on the final hole of the day to secure his spot on the cut line, and he will be around for the weekend. So his cut streak continues. He's in a tie for 42nd, and the top 10 streak is still in jeopardy, and he is my one and done.
Can you imagine? I was thinking about you.
Dude.
Zero. If you took a 0 from Scottie Scheffler,
I was ill. I'm still ill. I mean, it's like, you try to be smart. You try to be smart. And I just have never gotten him right. And thank goodness he's going to get me some amount of money this week. I don't know. I don't know how much he can move up on the weekend, but
0 would have been hard to take.
That would have been really hard.
He could move up a lot. I mean, if you really look at this leaderboard, like 7 under is tied 8th.
Yeah.
5 under is tied 16th. He can climb this board. I think winning is out of touch.
Dang. Okay. Well, at this point, I'll take basically anything. Round of the day goes to one Adam Scott, who loves himself some Riviera. This was a magnificent round 2 that started with an eagle on the first. He has 3 more birdies before he makes the turn. Then he has this stretch, eagle, birdie, 11, 12, and 13. The only mistakes, really, he parred 17, which has been very gettable this week, and he bogeys 18. Otherwise, this could have been even deeper, Greg, but still good enough for 63 round of the day.
He's won here twice, 2 seconds.
Well, is that 2 official wins? One of them was only 36 holes.
Yeah, that's right. That was in 2005.
I count it as a win, but the tour doesn't.
The tour does not. He shot 67, 66 and won. So I guess you're right. That doesn't count. All the way back then. 2020, he also won, which is amazing. 15 years later, and now here we are 6 years after that, and he's 3 shots off the lead. Obviously loves the place. I loved what I saw from his iron play today. He hit it to 17 inches at 1, made eagle. 15 inches at 5. At 11, he made another eagle. And then 12 and 13, those are, I believe, the hardest. Number 12 is the hardest hole. He hit it in there to 5 feet. 13 is maybe the third hardest hole. Hit it in there to 5 feet. Made birdie on both of those. It's spectacular. This round was about as pretty as his golf swing.
Did you see his shot on 16 yesterday, where
yes,
he hit it? The greens were 16 balls were plugging all over the place. He stuffed it. It landed 7 inches from the cup on the par 3 16th and plugged there, sat in its own pitch mark, which is always shocking when it just thumps and you don't see the bounce or anything. It was honestly one of the coolest shots I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love that.
I've seen that more this week than I ever remember.
Yeah.
Like, even when it's really soft, you rarely see it stop right where it is. Although the first time I ever saw Tiger Woods hit a shot in person, I was working at Medalist and I was behind the 18th green, like working, and he was coming up 18 and you could tell it was him. Got in there, like 25 feet left of it, but it landed directly hole high and just stopped there.
Really?
Yes, it was. I'll never forget it. It was very cool. It stayed right in his pitch mark, like Scottie's. It just wasn't Adam Scott. I mean, it just wasn't quite as close to the hole.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Well, Adam Scott is inside the top 5 going into the weekend. Once again, he moves up 18 spots. He's in a tie for 4th. He is tied for 4th with Xander Schauffele, 9 under par. Xander Schauffele, a guy we have not talked about a lot, or at least not positively over the course of the last 18 months or so, because it's been high expectations and not a lot of great play. 2025 wasn't a great year. He capped it off with a great, I almost call it the Zozo Bay Current Classic with a victory there, but a slow start to 2026. He really benefited from the restart because he was also a little bit slow out of the gate in round 1. They came out this morning and he was just guns a-blazing. He kept it going into the second round and he went 68-65.
Yeah, phenomenal. I mean, look, he comes out, he had finished on 11 last night. So he came out with 5 straight threes.
Yeah.
You know, and he's 6 under in his first 8 holes. Just phenomenal. I guess 6 under in his first 7 holes. Phenomenal start for Xander to close out that round. Disappointing bogey on 18. And then the only other bogey he made the rest of the day was a 3-putt on 15.
Mm-hmm.
He looked sharp. You know, when I think of Riviera, we talked about this on Tuesday, I believe. I think, well, what does it take? Well, it takes everything. Okay, well, who's got everything? Well, Xander does.
Xander's got them all.
But then I'm looking at some of his numbers, and like he's 145th this year around the green.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's 52nd in putting, which is fine. But now he's 10th around the green and 3rd in putting. So that is the area of Xander's game that I think makes him an all-world player. He's also, you probably saw a lot of Xander. He is sending it off the tee.
Oh my God, he mashes it.
Yeah, and he was doing this earlier too. I watched a lot of his opening rounds in Phoenix, and he was by Cam Young every hole. Faster ball speeds and past him every hole. I mean, I think his stats are going to be down a little bit because he was playing in a lot colder weather than like Marco Penge was this morning, but just sending it. So he looks like a wagon right now.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting because his last year or so has been, I think, mired in inconsistency, and he wasn't very good. He opened with an eagle yesterday, but he wasn't very good after that. He was fantastic today. What version are we getting from him tomorrow? Right, that's what I worry about with the consistency with Xander.
Yeah, it's a good point. Although I do it feels to me like this is a guy who's rounding into his form. Like he had a baby after he won the Bay Current and didn't do anything. I just don't think he did anything. So he comes out rusty, misses the cut at the Farmers, 41st in Phoenix, and then 19th at Pebble Beach, and now he's in a tie for 3rd. So it seems like things are just trending to better for Xander more than inconsistency from what I've seen.
I hope you're right. His game is better when he's involved. So there is the big three at the top, and Rory McIlroy is the name next on the list. One bogey this week. He's made the fewest bogeys of anybody in the field. That was in the opening round, the 16th hole yesterday. Outside of that, he has been nearly flawless, Greg. Rounds of 66, 65. He's put together a lot of different shots. The putter is working very well. I am wondering if we will see this record go down where we haven't seen Rory win at Riviera, we haven't seen Scottie win at Riviera, we haven't seen Tiger win at Riviera. Rory might be able to end that this week.
I think on Tuesday I've said that Jack won. Jack's never won here either.
Yeah.
So if I was wrong then, I apologize.
No, I thought that's what you said. Jack had never won here. Maybe I might
have said, did Jack win here, and asked him.
Yeah,
because I was unsure, but he definitely hasn't. It's been talked about a lot. So anyway, if I was wrong, I apologize. Also, Rory's in third, so Xander's in tied fourth.
Yeah.
Fact check.
Wow, man, this is a tough couple minutes for you.
Yeah, just wrong again.
Wrong.
I was just thinking of that. But I mean, this kind of looks like vintage Rory. You know, the long iron shots that he hit today were like number 4, the hole he's complaining about at the beginning of the week. He's birdied both days.
He's destroying it. Yeah, I know.
Now, to his credit, they have not played it at the 270-yard tee all the way back. I wonder if they will this week. That's really what Rory was referring to. But the way he played number 11 was, this is Rory McIlroy. He just beasted the hole. Adam Scott, who's 5th in driving distance for the week, even though he's 45 years old, had 250 into 11. Rory had 234 and hit it into 11 feet.
Yeah, and made the putt for eagle.
And made the putt. And how many of these curling, ticklish 8-footers has he just poured right in the middle at perfect speed? It's really hard to do on greens like this. Rory looks... he's going to be a problem this weekend.
Yeah, we'll get to the odds in just a second, but he is the favorite to win this golf tournament, as you can imagine, because he is chasing down 2 men who have yet to add a win to their resume, at least on the PGA Tour. We'll start with Jacob Bridgman. And Greg, we spoke about him leading into 2026, because you're going to see this name a lot, right? He's in all the signature events. He is a very strong putter. Last year's great success was a lot of volume, but he's seriously added some different dimensions to his game. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He was in the mix last week at Pebble, ended up finishing T8 after making a sloppy bogey on 18. But Bridgman is tied for the lead going into the weekend. He has not missed a beat.
He's made some serious improvements. It's why we've talked about him a lot this year, too. He's been a very common pick, at the very least, in the fantasy portion of the show. And, you know, a lot of the improvement comes in the area that you always want to see improvement come from, right? Approach play. He was 124th in strokes gained approach last year. He's up to 25th this year. But what's so cool about that is, you know, he lost strokes on approach today. Mm-hmm. He's still gaining for the week, but it wasn't a great day. But he picks up 3.5 putting. He's never played here before this week. You know, this is the experience at Riv is important. Well, this is why. You know, it's not hard to figure out what line you need to take off the tee. It's hard to figure out what line you need to take on the putting green. And he's got it figured out right away. I mean, over 3.5 strokes putting in both of the first 2 rounds. Obviously leading the way at basically 7.5 strokes putting. It's been just spectacular. So that's been an impressive area. It's a little concerning going into the weekend. Can you keep, when the hole locations change, can you keep filling it up on the greens? I wonder. But a lot of experience in contention. You know, 4 straight top 18s for him. He had 7 last year, top 18s in 30 starts. He's got 4 in his first 4, and now he's leading going into the weekend in his 5th event.
He's eagle number 1 both days. He's birdied 10 both days. He's birdied 11 both days. He's birdied 16 and 17 both days. Good on you, young man. Get after it.
Yeah, it's very symmetrical.
Yeah, he mentioned in his post round interview, kind of alluding to like how last week if you didn't see it, we talked about it. He hits his second shot onto the beach at Pebble Beach. It's a nightmare, but kind of talks about he said, "Hey, I'm playing well. Just stay in the routine. Keep doing the things that I'm doing. Like, don't overthink this." Now, that is easier said than done, as we will go to a final pairing on Saturday, but it's a great mindset to have so far.
Yeah, he's going to be at a little disadvantage physically. Both Rory and Penge and Xander. One thing that he said about this golf course is that all the fairway bunkers are kind of right where his ball is going to land.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very deep. Well, that's where these really long hitters who are up here in the mix can separate themselves. They can kind of take those out of play. And they're not so worried about losing roll. It's actually helpful for the long hitters when there's less roll. It's helpful for him into the greens as well. So I'll be curious to see how he strikes it. If he's able to get the ball in play, able to avoid those fairway bunkers and, keep hitting. He hit 8 fairways yesterday, 9 today. If he can keep hitting fairways like that, perhaps, maybe he can keep the trend going and hit 10 tomorrow. It'd be a really good thing for Bridgman because I just can't wait to see what he does on the greens. It's been red hot, but he is a great putter. So his chances of keeping that going increase, even though it's still unlikely.
Well, if you liked his 66-64, let me offer you a 66-64 from Marco Penge. And this is filled with birdies, with birdie streaks. If you like scoring, Marco Penge did plenty of it, highlighted by the 5 birdies that he made over the course of his final 7 holes in the second round to card that 64. Marco Penge was one of the guys, Greg, who came over from the DP World Tour. He won multiple times over there last year. He was one of the golfers that I think a lot of us targeted as a potential breakout candidate because he was leading that tour in a lot of like driving distance metrics. Started this year a little bit later. He tweeted that he had an illness that set him back a little bit, and then he switches to PXG clubs, and we're like, Marco, like, what are you doing, bud? Like, let's chill a bit. But clearly, he knows better than us.
Well, he said polo. And he seems to have found his game this week. One of the things that I worry about, Rick, with players from the DP World Tour coming over, like, it's not that I worry about it, but what is the
keeps you up at night?
Yeah. Oh, Marco, what's going to happen? I am always concerned with the short game and putting, and the statistics that we see on the DP World Tour. They will translate with driving distance. They'll often translate with tee to green play, but they don't always translate around the greens. They have not for Marco so far this year. In his first 3 events, again, small sample size, but he was 165th around the green and 169th putting. Well, where is he this week in those categories? 5th around the green, 12 of 14 scrambling. He was 7 for 7 scrambling today, and he's second in strokes gained putting. He's put up over 3 strokes each of the first 2 days on a golf course he's never played before, just like Jacob Bridgman. So that's a really big jump for Marco Penge. It's the biggest thing that I worry about. Not surprising to see him hit the ball the way he has this week.
Okay, well, let us take a peek at the overall leaderboard. Mina, could we zoom out for a second? I think we do have the odds available here. I mentioned Rory McIlroy is the betting favorite. He is plus 185, and I hate to say this, also Mina's one and done selection. She might be able to snap off a cool $4 million on us here, Gregors.
Yeah, it's looking that way. If odds were not a part of the factor here, part of the equation, and I had to pick a winner, it would be Rory McIlroy. I just love the way he's played. He hasn't quite leaned on the putter the way Bridgman and Penge have. Penja's been really good tee to green as well. Bridgman's a little more concerning. It just feels like he's leaned on the putter more. Rory's done everything well.
Bridgman plus 380, Marco plus 500, Xander plus 750. Then there is a bit of a drop off. Adam Scott is 13-1. Tommy Fleetwood, I think Tommy could win this, is 17-1. But really, the existence of Rory near the top of this board sucks up a lot of the attention from the odds makers. And if that isn't enough, Xander near the top of the board. So if there's anybody else, you're going to get a good number on them because those two exist in this world.
And I think there are some really good options. You got, Tommy Fleetwood draws a lot of attention at 17-1, but Matt Fitzpatrick's at 27-1 right there. Also in a tie for eighth. And, he's seventh in this field, strokes gained tee to green right now, and has been striping it. So I really think that Matt Fitzpatrick has a win in his future. I'm not sure it's going to be this week, obviously. But, he looks great. Wyndham Clark's leading the field, strokes gained tee to green. He's also at 7 under and is at 50-1. I think guys like that. And then you got Adam Scott, who's only 3 shots back. You get a much better number on him at 13-1. He's won here 1.5 times before and is absolutely striping it. And he's 5th in driving distance. So that would be kind of I think there's a lot of options with these players in this position with these odds.
Scottie Scheffler is plus 186 to extend his top 10 streak. Does it continue
10.
this week? Top 10, yes. It's top 10. Joseph said top 5, but it is a top 10. Okay,
so right now, that's 7 under. So he's 7 back of top 10. I think it could happen. I think he makes that happen. Look, this is the thing about great golf courses like this. They separate. Right? This is not that log jam. We've seen a lot of log jam leaderboards so far this season. You have 12 under leading the way, and 5 under is, by the way, Jordan Spieth and Colin Morikawa are there. 5 under is tied 16th, and 12 under is leading. You remember what was leading at the halfway mark last week? Was it like 16? 15. 15 under.
I don't know, Greg. Once the week is over, that has just been deleted from my brain.
So 15 under was leading last week, I remember. And Morikawa was at 5 under through 36 holes and won. Now he's 5 under, but he's in a tie for 16th. I just think there's a lot more separation, and the guys that are down here may not move up quite as much. Guys that are playing really well are going to shoot up the leaderboard in good conditions. I think Scottie could, a 65 tomorrow could put him like a shot out of the top 10.
Let's rapid fire some of these questions here. What's the real lead?
11 under.
How far back is too far back?
3 under.
Who is the biggest surprise to miss the cut? Some notables to miss the cut. Chris Gotterup, Justin Rose. You're answering the questions faster than I can get.
Yeah. I think it's got to be Gotterup. Rose just he doesn't play well in signature events.
Why do stars not play well at Riviera?
I don't know. It's a very tricky one. I think it's the difficult. I think it's the green complexes.
Will we see the 273-yard par 3?
Yes.
Is it walking in the aisles of Trader Joe's that keep you up at night?
It has before. I'm steadily moving past it. My
Uh,
therapist and I.
what are you most looking forward to this weekend?
I love this leaderboard. I'm psyched to see what Fitzy does. I'm psyched to see what Fleetwood does. I love that they're like a little ways back. You got Xander and Scottie, Adam Scott, that is, Rory, all right there. Like any of those guys would be fascinating to me. I love Jacob Bridgman, and I'm so curious about Marco Penge. I don't think this can go wrong. You got Minwoo Lee. What are we going to get out of Minwoo Lee? He's so fun to watch. It's just a really fun group of guys who are obviously extremely talented up near the top. And you got a Scottie comeback. I literally don't think we can lose this weekend.
Scottie's in the third group out. Actually, it's the second full group because Denny's playing by himself. He goes out at 10:45 a.m. Eastern. That we will be on there for the betcast for that.
What will he shoot?
That's 4. See, the only problem is it's cold in the mornings. But that's 4 hours before the final group. Man, I love that. I think he shoots a 65.
All right. I'll say 66.
I'll take either one of those right now.
Yeah. 65, so that put him at 6 under.
Yeah. And then as soon as he's done, it just some wind starts rolling in. Santa Ana
a microclimate.
Microclimate that just hovers over Riviera for 5 hours and just destroys these guys. And that's what I need to see.
I would love to see a 63 out of Scottie.
Okay.
Because people will start to think like he could do that again. If it's one of Scottie's playing partners, I'm not going to name a name. Well, even if I'm not going to name a name, I almost did.
Matty Schmidt.
Somebody else goes and shoots 63 from down here. It's like, that's great, but they're not doing it again. Scottie shoots 63. You're going to think he's going to shoot 61 tomorrow.
Yeah, he's just getting warmed up.
He's putting fear in everybody's eyes.
I just want him to eagle 1 and birdie 2. That just give me like the sweat, right? Give me the full on sweat.
What do we have here?
Yeah, that's what I want.
2 has been tough for him. I don't think he's been within 40 yards of the green, within 30 yards of the green, left and right. I guess he could zone it in.
Yeah,
30 yards right on one in round 1 and 40 yards left in round 2. Split the difference.
Gosh. All right. Well, listen, we will be back Sunday to break it all down, and we will have a winner of the Genesis Invitational. Who knows? Might be Rory, might be Xander, might be Scottie, might be Colin, might be Tommy. I have no idea. It might be Marco Penge. That's what's great about this. I have no idea, but we'll know on Sunday, and we'll be back. Big thanks to producer Mina. She does all the hard work behind the scenes. Greg DuCharme is available at The Real GFD. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The Second Cut. We'll catch you next time.